This 1970 MGB Roadster came in a few days ago. It could be the perfect beginner's restoration. The MGB was launched in 1962, using lots of tried and tested parts from previous models. The car drove well, looked fresh, and it sold in numbers. In the swinging 60s, its appeal was wide, classless, cool and hip, but still a traditional sports car, with enough boot space for a long weekend in the Cotswolds. Some say it lost its appeal in its latter years, when BL ditched the chrome and gained the rubber. But all Roadsters are forever remembered by their drivers, and a very practical classic.
We've said for years and years, MGBs surely must be the most sensible British sports car to restore and run. You could train a monkey up in a fortnight to work on an MGB. They are simple cars to work on. There's nothing difficult about them at all.
And it seems this one is a very good example.
Nice wire wheels. They obviously want sandblasting and painting. I like the fact it's got a red hood. I think that's lovely, that's different. Steering wheel's fine. Dashboard wants sorting out. Aluminium bonnet. And she's picked up there, look, there's obviously a reaction there. So that wants sorting. The engine bay itself is lovely, look, it'll clean up beautiful. A lot of time's got to be spent underneath here. You know, I wouldn't go so far as like stripping everything out and starting painting it all. Don't think it needs that, it wants a really nice clean.
Derek's already driven it and written up his report.
Sloppy shock absorbers, a lot of slop in the drive, so the axle's going to have to be looked at. Engine sound is sweet, good oil pressure. Basically, it looks good.
It seems like a no-brainer. We're diving in.
The 1970 MGB Roadster. I've got some interest here, Will.
We're doing this one by phone, with Meg's help.
5,000 says...
5 is yours.
5,000. And Sam's back in again at 6. But Meg's back in at 6-1. 6,002 says Sam.
Can I keep going,
6-2. Sam's bid 6-3 says Meg. She's winning it for the girls, 6-3. 6-4. 6-4. They are, look at that, 6-5. Do you want 6-6, Sam? 6-6.
Can I keep going?
At 6,600. 6-7?
Yeah, please.
At £6,700, are we all done?
Oh, he's jumped up again at 6-8.
6,008. Sam's back in and Meg's straight in at 6,009. She loves spending other people's money at 6,900. At 6,009. At 6,009, it's Meg at 6,009. Are we all done? 6,009.
Yay, the hammer's down. Congrats.
We're delighted to have bought what looks like an easy project for once. Order the parts and off we go.
Everything's cheap, everything's available. You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong.
So, the question remains, where to send it to? Derek has a bee in his bonnet.
You've probably gathered over the years that I'm not a great fan of specialists in brackets. It means we can write out bigger invoices.
So basically, give this to somebody who knows what he's doing, has got a garage, and is enthusiastic about it.
Basically, that's all it is.
We know just the pair for the job.
Go on then, Jack. Go pop the bonnet up, mate. See if you do it right.
We first met Mick Hampson and his son Jack 3 years ago at their home in North Lincolnshire.
Do the water then, mate.
They'd just bought this 200,000-mile Mini Cooper at the auction, a renovation project they planned to work on together.
I want to be a mechanic when I'm older, so that's going to be like something to learn.
It keeps him from going on drugs or beer, doesn't it, at his age? You know, at 13-year-old, he ain't got no money now because he's got to spend it all on his Mini.
We put new wheels, new arches, we just gave it a new look, basically. It had a new subframe in it, new pipes, touch-ups in the interior. I learned everything that I know, really.
Now 15, Jack's ready to move on to something a bit bigger. Dad's given it the once-over.
The engine sounds sweet. Gearbox, to what we've seen, just driving in and out, seems all right.
It's nice, yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's a cool car.
It has got a bit of rust coming through, but it's nice. Chrome all at the back's pretty much good. The hood's beautiful, it looks like a brand new hood, what's been put on it. I did a quick rough price guide. I think I've got it down into parts to something round about just under the 3,000.
If you can keep your expenditure down, you may even find that you do what you're not quite used to and slip up and make a profit. But I somehow doubt you will, because there will be other expenditures that you haven't bargained for just yet.
Come on, use your muscles, all one of them.
Mick and Jack plan to do the work over the winter months. A potentially straightforward project with a car that's a worthy candidate for restoration.
These are something like a stately home. They're a bit of all our heritages. People have oil paintings in the house, they have ornaments. We just happen to play about with cars. It's part of history, isn't it? The little antiques.
In North Lincolnshire, some valuable father-son time is about to begin.
Come on then, Dopey. Put the lights on when you go through. Don't want you tripping over out, I'll die of laughing. Go open the big doors. Watch me fingers.
Good communication is key in any working relationship, and there's definitely an open two-way dialogue between Mick and Jack.
Undo the tractor ends. I'll get the ball joint splitter.
Have you got any more deep sockets? Because mine don't fit this.
That's because you've got cheap, nasty tools, but I keep buying you for Christmas.
Various bits of the MGB are about to be removed.
What we're hoping to do today is take the front shock absorbers off, take the steering rack off, and do the front end, and if we get time and order, drop the back axle and have it ready for the new one when it comes.
Thanks to Mick's patient guidance,
Come on, we're waiting.
Jack now has a go at many of the manual jobs.
Pass us that when you finish it, and I'll do this side. Sometimes he knows more than me nowadays. He's one what watches things on YouTube. I'm someone what faffs around still trying to work the remote controls for the TV out. I've had him play about with all my lorries and cars and things like that. It's 15 and a half, so if he got an apprenticeship in a garage or whatever he's doing, you'd be trusting him.
It doesn't last long, though.
Come here.
Yes, no.
It is, look. Yeah, pull it out. That's the steering rack. It's obviously quite worn inside.
A new one will be about 200 quid. This one will be sold to someone who fancies refurbing it. Next job, remove the front shock absorbers.
It's suspension, it's serious stuff, and it alters the complete handling of a car. You'll have to undo that one, just to slacken it a bit.
One?
Yeah. They're not a lot of money. I think the price something like about £47 to £50, the shock absorbers. It's not a great lot of money for a peace of mind. There you go.
Also coming out, the rear axle. Derek identified some banging from the diff, or differential. This is a set of cogs that transmit engine power to the rear wheels, while allowing them to turn at different speeds when the car goes round corners.
You can't get the diff out, it's all involved in the axle and everything. It comes all as a complete package, so we've got to take the back axle out to change it all over.
Mick gets things going by detaching the prop shaft, then returns to his main task of encouraging Jack.
Stop messing about.
Sure.
He's getting tired now, past his bedtime.
Luckily, the retaining bolts and brackets come out quite easily, freeing the rear axle.
Go on, then. Just come in. Go on.
The leaf springs and a few other bits will be reused, but essentially this whole lump will end up being replaced with a shiny new one. In North Lincolnshire, there's been a delivery.
It's Christmas for the MG, isn't it?
And another heartwarming day of father-son bonding lies ahead for Mick and Jack.
You have to walk on my garden.
Yes, I do.
I've got no bloody grass on there, will I, when it's bloody summertime? It's a big box, isn't it?
Ordered just a few weeks ago from the MG Owners Club. Hopefully all the parts needed to finish the job.
Might take him all day just to get into a box.
Sure.
To get a good price for a car, you've got to have a nice interior. This has got a nice interior. It's got lovely seats in it and everything. Just the carpets was a bit mouthy, and that's carpet set. £270.
This is a steering wheel.
£87.46.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it?
It did have one of them on it, but it's bent.
It's bent, yeah. Oh. This is all our hardware, nuts and bolts.
No, that's all lower front wishbone kit.
Brake shoes, yeah.
The steering rack was £208.29. There's our new back axle.
Go, Jeff.
£487.50.
Also in the box of goodies, a new radiator for just over 100 quid.
To send it in to have this one checked, because there was a lot of sludge in it, 25 to 30 quid. If he found something wrong with it here and has to repair it, works out more expensive than what it does just say, no, well, I'll have a new one and Postman Pat brings it the next day.
There's all new parts.
£3,385.37. Come on, Jack.
I'm coming.
The reconstruction can now begin.
Come on, get some 7/16 spanners.
With Mick leading by example.
That's in my box, yeah? Every drawer is nice and neat. Nothing's piled up. Where's box? I just wouldn't know where to start. Every drawer's like it. Every single one.
I know where everything is. Crack on.
That one's tight now.
None of it's been difficult at the moment because it's an MG. Absolutely fantastic cars to restore. Good, and put it down. Nearly everything we've took off and done and what we're doing is nuts and bolt jobs.
Got it?
Yeah. Like a giant Meccano set, and hopefully everything will bolt on again.
It's been a month since we last saw the MGB, and although it doesn't look it, we're on the home straight. The rear axle, suspension and steering rack are now all in place. The old ones are due to be sent back to the MG Owners Club in part exchange.
They have been brilliant with anything I've ordered, or I wanted to ask them any questions.
There is, however, a potential problem ahead with the soft furnishings.
The biggest problem's Jack's going to be doing the interior. So it won't be long before he shouts, "Dad, can you just come here?"
What's happened this side?
Go on then, spread it off. Got to get all the old bitumen substance all off, because we've bought some nice new sound deadening material. All the nasty, horrible bits I'll let him do. Come on.
Sure.
For the main job, there's a handy guide.
So you've got all the carpets.
So it looks quite simple putting that together. It's all numbered.
It'll have to be for him.
That's the middle bit. What alarms me is that there's no hole for the gear stick.
Because it's a diagram.
But on further investigation, it seems Jackie's right.
What's that?
That's for that bit there. Is that for the gear stick? Are you mad?
Well, that's not very good, is it?
So now he's got to cut a hole for the gear stick.
Mick marks up a new hole using the old carpet. But there's another problem.
It wants to be about there.
Him being in a muppet like he always is, yeah, has marked that with a parent marker, not thinking I won't come off, it's in the wrong place, yeah? It's a parent marker, it doesn't come off.
It will for me.
It doesn't.
I'll tell your mum you've used the best jug.
But Jack has suggested using milk.
Is it coming off?
It is actually, yeah, you're right. See, he's got his uses. Look at that, eh?
Shut up.
There we are, you see.
Seat belts in. Then a seat. Then another problem.
It goes crooked.
That's the passenger side. Take it out.
Yeah.
Not much is going right.
But after going back a few steps and some more helpful encouragement,
Kids, they've got a lot to learn. Wait till he starts working for someone.
there's significant progress.
Well, we've got the interior finally done. We had problems, and being sort of like middle of February is not the best conditions to be working in and things like that. That's the way it goes, really, with old cars. But it does look really good.
There's some basic engine maintenance to do and a bit of paint and chrome work that needs attending to. But essentially, Jack and Mick have got this MGB pretty much ready for the auction.
We've won. Happy days.
Back with the MGB. Our restoration with Jack and Mick is almost over.
Come on, get him up it.
In the last few days, there's been a bit of detailing on the 1800cc engine and some other stop-start final touches.
We come to put the alternator on and the bracket was slightly wrong and we hadn't noticed, so we had to pull the radiator out of it again. It was our fault, well, it was my fault. I like to blame it on to Jack, and he said I'd put the alternator bracket on the wrong way round.
And had you?
Oh yes, I had, yes. We've got the bonnet back from the spray shop. I'm just going to drain the oil in a minute, put some nice new oil in it, and the filter, and hopefully, if the batteries are up to it, we should be able to maybe get it going. Come on. See if I can drop some oil on his head.
You better not do.
I always like to put the oil in as soon as you've drained it, because there's been that many accidents where people forget.
It looks so much nicer with wheels on. It's changed the car, isn't it?
Yeah, makes it a proper piece of kit.
Time for the resprayed bonnet.
Good job it's light.
That's literally perfect. You can't
Yeah.
even tell it's paint, can you?
Happy with that then?
Very
Definitely
happy.
Yeah.
They'll be even happier if it starts.
Go on.
Choke off.
Yeah, choke off gently.
It's been fun and it's nice to do something different. I've learned so much just from making mistakes.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, I would actually.
It's taken 5 months of evenings and weekends for Jack and Mick to get to this stage. And there's a bit of tuning and cleaning to go, but they've proved a point.
This garage hasn't got a ramp. We've done it all. We're laying on the floor. You could do that just as much in here or out there. And you don't really need a lot of knowledge. Proves it, because we've managed to do it.
The MGB, though, has been rebuilt for driving. Mick and Jack have done this the way that most restorations go, over time, at home, keeping the finances under control. With tax and commission, it cost us £7,521 to buy. Parts came in at £3,400, and labour was £1,292, bringing the total cost to £12,213. We think we may get close to breaking even.
Hey, morning, Pete. What we got then?
MG.
Oh, yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing this.
Here we go.
Hey, that's lovely. New wheels. Yeah, she does look nice and shiny, doesn't she? Very good. Interior's lovely. I like wood rim steering wheels, I've always liked them. Dashboard's good, isn't it? Very saleable. See you later. Nice engine. I would imagine it's had springs and shock absorbers. They're okay, yeah. Feels all right. Brakes feel good enough. A little bit of travel on the pedal. A bit of newness, as we call it. But generally speaking, the handling of the car's lovely. I didn't try overdrive, we'll do that in a minute. We'll try it now. There's your overdrive going in there now. Absolutely lovely. Beautiful. The engine sounds fit. I'd stick my chin out and say that's as good an MGB engine as we've had probably ever. Nice job. And its value now, somewhere 9 to 10 grand.
Lot number 70 is the 1970 MGB. So there we are. Where are we going to be on that? You tell me. I've got £8,400 on our phones at 848586 internet. Charlie on the phone at £9,000. 9,000, 91. Andrew's phone at 91. 9,001. You're out, guys, at home. It's 91 on our phones here. £9,500. 96 says Andrew at 96.
7.
97. 98. Internet bid.
99.
99. 9,009. £10,000. And 1. 10-1.
I think that's about right.
10-2. Fresh bid again, 10.2 at 10.3. Charlie's telephone bidder at 10,003, 4. 10,004, 10.5, 10.5, 10,006, £10,600. Are we all done? Sold. Andrew's man, 10,600.
£1.5 grand loss, but somebody's got themselves a really nice car.
And for that, we have Mick and, of course, Jack to thank.
Doing it the way you've done that is exactly the way most other people in the country would do it. It's been done sensibly. The work and the experience that the young lad's had with his dad will stick with him forever. He will never forget that.
And finally, up in Stockton, James Delmar awaits the arrival of his new MGB Roadster.
James, have you had MGBs before?
Yes, I love them. I've had, at least a dozen.
He placed his winning bid from a sun lounger in Spain, so this is his first viewing.
Hello, Paul. Oh, it's great. It looks like a nice job's been done on it. That's lovely.
Paul's errand is complete. So now, James can finally spend some quality time alone with his most recent purchase.
Let's see what's under here. Lovely. Very nice. It's everything that I wanted. I've had two E-types years and years ago, but a nice MGB is as good as any classic on the road. Can't wait and get to the shows. Enjoy it. That's the main thing.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, John, yes.
In South Shields, Graham Holmes, with the help of old pal Tony Mather, is getting ready to part with a classic that's a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I had the Ford Focus ST170 engine and a Sierra gearbox, and I built that into this new body shell, and it's done about 8,000 miles since I did the work on it, and it included 3 trips to Spain.
It looks like a standard car, but it surprises a lot of people with more powerful engines.
And tucked away in the garage is another little number that Graham's built himself. A Proteus replica Jaguar C-type.
It will do nearly 160 miles an hour. I've had it up around the 160 mark on the Nürburgring, on the straight there. It was quite frightening.
These circuit passes on all the different circuits we've been on over the last 25, 30 years. I've got a very similar Jaguar, a D-type, I built 28 years ago. Between us, we've got wonderful memories of racing around Europe, and it's been excellent. It's about as good as we'll get at the moment. We're misfiring on 2 cylinders at the moment.
4 and 3, is it?
I think so, yeah. So I'll have to take the plugs out and clean them.
In 1951, the C-type brought Jaguar its first victory in the classic Le Mans 24-hour race. 2 years later, the car won again with an average speed of over 100 miles an hour, a first for the iconic endurance race. The C in C-type stands for competition. The car is officially an XK120C, and even with all the heavy bits left off it, the C was double the price of a standard XK. Today, the original cars run well into the millions. Even a top-end factory-built Proteus will cost the price of the average house. But if you look around, there are occasionally sensibly priced early recreations out there.
I've had my enjoyment out of it, so let somebody else enjoy it and cherish it. But it's to be driven and not just to be left parked in a garage.
do we need some tissues? No. How are you?
MG runs.
Yep.
And has brakes.
Yeah.
The Jaguar will run, but it has no brakes.
None at all?
No.
Right. I like that. That sits well.
Well, this is the one with a ST170.
This has?
Yes.
Oh, hang on. You're getting me all hot under the collar here.
And a T5 gearbox.
Has she got a Ford lump in it, has it?
Yes.
That you put in, Graham?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
What made you put that in then?
Well, that's got about 180, 190 brake horsepower.
Yeah.
The MG has about 80.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I had one in my youth.
Yeah.
Californian import cage, all the rest of it, and I put twin cam Lotus pistons in and some big carbs, and it went well, but it was never enough. You know, it just never enough. It should be a flyer, shouldn't it? We know I like a modification or two, an upgrade we're going to call them, not modifications, upgrades. We like them when they're done correctly and nicely, and the good thing with that, most people, me included, when you first walk up to it, looks no different, does it? Brilliant, that's the bit I like.
So, it's sad seeing them go, but it's 2 years since I've been in the Jaguar, and I got in about a week ago to get it started up.
Yeah.
And it took us over an hour to get moving.
Oh, good.
So,
you don't just want to use it for a pint of milk then, do you?
No.
No. It's tight fitting here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Tight working in there.
Yeah. Did you do that MG conversion in here?
Yes.
Did you?
All right then.
I have it, we're all right. Oh, beauty. You'd think I'd done this before. And did you buy this as a kit then, Graham? The body?
Yeah, it's a Proteus.
Yeah. Right, and so you would buy the space frame and the body. Yeah.
When it comes to cars like this, Paul knows they're only as good as the person wielding the spanners.
That's their spot.
So he's done all that work on the Jag and the MG in here?
In here, yep. Yeah, it just shows, doesn't it? So when they say, I haven't got the room, get out of it.
Graham's hoping his MGB will fetch decent money.
What do you need in your pocket? 13?
Yeah.
Right.
And as for the C-type replica?
Maybe 50 to 60 grand.
Yeah.
But you can never tell.
No, you can't tell. Good. Right, we'll get trailer gathered up and we'll be off. Good to see you, and we'll see you in due course.
I'd love them. It's sad to see them go, but I might as well go and buy myself a big Volvo or something like that and get in and out.
You can get your garage back to put everything else in.
Oh, it's never been my garage.
So you can see it's a real good, solid, sound motor. Lovely interior.
Meanwhile, Derek's taking stock of the C-type stablemate, another home-built beauty, the MGB GT, that's been modified with a Ford engine, gearbox, and more.
Look at that. They call it a Le Mans quick fill-in fuel cap. So, you know, you can imagine the Le Mans car coming out and bang, it was off and wallop him when it went, and away it went, and the bloke here smoking. Just a little bit of picking up here. They always pick up here, don't they, these MGs? I mean, this is a new body shell. Some years ago, fair enough, 10 years ago maybe, but they still pick up here. It's blooming strange, isn't it? There's no real reason why they should, as far as I can see, but they do. Fancy wheels. I like the wheels. They're quite nice. I mean, I like wire wheels above all else, but if you're not having wire wheels, then at least they're centre locks, look, which is lovely. The way it's sitting in there and the way it's plumbed in, it just looks as though it's grown there. That could have been out the factory, that. In fact, if it had come out of the factory, it would have been lovely, wouldn't it? It would have been a big seller then. So I dread to think of the performance, but blooming quick. It'll be much livelier. I ain't got a clue what brake horsepower it's generating, but probably double an MGB by the looks of that. So it'll go a bit. So the guy who buys this in years gone by would have bought and owned and enjoyed an XR2 or an XR3 or something like that. He's now got to the stage where he wants a classic, but he still wants that bit more punch than the average one. This is going to be a smiley car. Whoever buys this is going to want a lemon to suck on because he'll be smiling constantly when he's driving this. You drive it a bit hard, it'll be lovely to perform.
The vendor, Graham Holmes, clearly believes in his car too and has upped his asking price to somewhere between 14 and 16 grand.
Yes, 10 grams of a car. Yes, 10 grams. I can't see why it should make more than 10 grand, but someone might disagree and pay 12 grand for it, but it ain't going to make 16. No way. No way. You know, 16 buys you one of the best MGB Roadsters in the country, original. And I don't think there's many people out there that would appreciate this conversion and pay the extra money for it. I think that weighs it up. We'll see.
MGB, oh, this looks a nice thing. Oh, yes, this does look a nice thing. There we are, MGB GT. Where are we going to be on that? 10,000, please, Will, to start. At £10,000 bid. At 10,000, at 10,250, at 10,250, 10,500, at 10,005, at 10,500. Are we all done at 10,005? 10,005. You're looking for more than that, Keith? Have to make a note. We're looking for more than that on there, I'm afraid. We have to move on with that one.
As Derek predicted, the asking price is too high in this and the next auction, so the souped-up MGB comes back for a third time.
257 1969 MGB GT in red. Nice vehicle, nice looking thing. 7,250, 7,500, 7,500, 7,500. That it? 7,750, 8,000. Can I say 250? £8,000 all done then? £8,000 I'm submitting. We'll do a deal. We'll put a deal together somewhere down the line. £8,000 for the first, second, third and last time. Provisional, 8,000.
A deal is done, with 8 grand finally accepted.
It arguably would have sold a lot easier if it was original. Generally speaking, modifications are bad, aren't they? People prefer originality, don't they? Unmessed.
Probably unique. I can't imagine there's going to be another opportunity to find a 5,000-mile, one-owner MGC Roadster that's still running on its original cross-ply tyres and still got the plastic, the cellophane protection on the passenger seat. It's just not going to happen.
In the late 60s, BMC needed a successor to the gorgeous Austin Healey 3000. The first plan by Donald Healey himself was to widen the existing body and drop a 4-litre Rolls-Royce engine into it, but US safety regs put a stop to that one. The solution, a 3-litre 6-cylinder paired with an MGB. After a rebuilt front end, operator brakes and suspension, plus bonnet bulge, the MGC was born. It had a tendency to understeer if the tyres weren't pumped up, but essentially it was a smooth and reliable touring car. 500,000 MGBs were made compared to 9,000 Cs. Only 600 of the Roadsters remain on UK roads.
Basically, everyone in the country should be wanting to buy it. Specification-wise, not condition-wise, it's as near new an MGC as you're probably going to find. Now I've said that, someone's going to ring up and say, I've got one done 1,200 miles, aren't they, or something. But it probably won't happen. So, yes, I think it is a good move. Whether there's going to be a financial return on it is debatable. Personally, I think the car as it sits here now is worth 20,000 quid of anyone's money. This car should not be able to be bought by a dealer, turn it into retail condition and then take a reasonable profit out of it. That shouldn't happen. There should be plenty enough enthusiasts out there that would realise what a fantastic opportunity this is. It's going to create a lot of interest, which should prohibit you from buying it to move on.
Well, let's see. Mint ones are asking 30 grand, so as long as we don't get carried away, we should be all right.
MGC Roadster 1969, lot number 399.
Here we go.
It's been in storage for donkey's years. It's 5,000 miles, I think, isn't it, David? Something like that. And we'll see how we go with it. 10,000, we're away. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19,000, £19,000.
19,250. I'll throw a bit of T-cut in. That's basically what it wants. Submitting it. 19,250. Are you all done? 19,500. 19,750.
Yeah.
20,000. 20,250. 20,005.
Yes.
20,500. 20,500. 20,750. 21. Can I say 21 and a quarter? 21,250.
21 and a half.
21,500. Internet's out. You're out this side. You're out, David. Internet's out. Are you all done? 21,500. 21,500. Well done.
For once, we played the game properly. We've got ourselves a very rare car. Question is, what do we do with it now?
I'm big on originality, and it's only original once, isn't it? So I would do absolute minimums to the car.
It's for the connoisseur at the end of the day. So it's a big recommission mechanically. I'll leave that plastic on the seat, sandblast and paint the wheels. Very, very important to have original rubber on a car. Retain the original paintwork as much as you possibly can.
Doing less sounds cheaper, but we also want to do it justice. So we've decided to send it down to Cambridge, home to the MG Owners Club official workshop. Manager Ian Warman has been here more than 30 years. He's seen it all.
Worst case scenario is corroded. The bodywork's the bit that costs all the money to repair and is the most tricky part to sort out. Morning, let's have a look.
Also on hand today, technical advisor Jonathan Kimber.
Obviously been sitting for a while.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
You never know. It could be fantastic initially, and then underneath is a disaster. It doesn't give it away until you get it up in the air.
These are always a little bit of a concern. They look pretty, but they are a bit of a trap for corrosion.
5,000 miles, Ian, is that?
5,000 miles, wow. So 1969, 5,000 miles. I don't know what that averages out, but it's pretty low. Thankfully, it doesn't look like the mice have got into it. But no, it's still got its original features. Leather rim steering wheel. The large steering wheel was fitted on the MGBs, but only the MGCs had it covered in leather. The wrinkle finish on the dashboard still looks good. It's quite unusual to see one that's quite so unchanged. Yeah. A few knickknacks. Oh, that's the keys. Ah, keys with the original fob. So that's all nice little touches. It backs up the authenticity of the fact that it's a very low mileage car that hasn't been anywhere.
Just opening the boot, it looks all very original, even to the point where it's been produced, as it's come off the production line. You've still got a green tag as part of the build, so it's kind of untouched from when it came out the factory. The spare's unused.
Original parts, the bag, the jack, the wheel brace. The bodywork is really good. Yeah, there we go.
As far as important cosmetics go, so far so good.
Most cars have been restored and restored and restored. So to find one that's not had anything done is quite unusual and quite interesting, because you get to see what it actually was really like when it was made rather than somebody's version of it.
For our project to work financially, though,
go for it.
We need the same warm reception for the engine and the bits underneath. Fingers crossed. Just outside Cambridge, the fate of our super rare 5,000-mile MGC and our finances hangs in the balance. A more revealing inspection is about to begin.
Let's get the bonnet open and see what we've got. Let's have a look. OK. What's all there? Big cast iron 3 litre. Heavy as a tractor.
An engine that's not been used on the road since 1984.
Anything that's rubber, it all starts to perish and crack. These hoses are like solid.
You've got electrics to look at as well. Check that that's all as it should be.
Oh, that's good. The engine's not seized. It might not run, but it does turn.
Ian and Jonathan won't attempt to start it until the fuel has been changed and the cooling system checked.
A little bit of surface, a little bit of underseal peeling off, but the floor and the sills, which is the important bit, that's all good.
Solid though, isn't it?
It's
really
solid, yeah. From here, which is the centre line of the car where the jacking points are, forward is totally different to an MGB, which is why getting some of the pieces to restore them and replace them is hard going. But luckily on this car, I don't think we need to worry about that.
We've chosen well, or at least Derek has. This one has all the makings of a trouble-free restoration.
I'm one for using a car, so bring it back so it's safe, polish it all up, keep it as is and enjoy, because that's what it's here for.
At the MG Owners Club workshop, manager Ian has a plan for our barn-fresh 3-litre C that's hardly ever seen tarmac.
Mechanically, we've really got to go through it. We've got some paint issues to deal with on the bonnet. The rest of the paint is in really good order, so we're hoping that we're going to just buff that.
Mechanic Mark Empson will be the first to lay into it.
Today we're looking at the basics of the car. The brakes have been seized on with being stood for such a long time. Eureka, and not Johnson.
Being at MGHQ has its advantages.
The parts are coming from MGOC spares.
So we're going next door for
Yeah,
some
we
bits?
can go next door for parts, yes.
So we don't have to wait for delivery then?
No delivery, it's all on site.
Even though the car is more than 50 years old, this might be the first time the brakes have had any attention.
Do all workshops have a precision instrument like that then?
Yeah, a gentle persuading tool. So yeah, she's not looking too bad in there, rusty, but she looks like she's working good when she's parked up. The self-adjuster, which is unique to an MGC, is still in good shape.
This is an ingenious component. Brake shoes are pushed against the drum by hydraulic pressure, but eventually wear, increasing the gap and reducing efficiency. The spring adjuster's job is to detect and close that gap over time.
So we're going for new brake pipes because they're obviously heavily corroded. So we're going to simply just cut the brake pipes like you would on your enemy in a James Bond film.
A quick bit of housekeeping, then on to the front brakes. Discs rather than drums.
Really good on wildlife.
Yeah, we'll get David Attenborough in and he'll give us a guided tour of the car. That's it. Grease cap. Stops all the dirt entering, all the grease coming out the wheel bearing. That looks like no one's been in there before. Usually these are all hammered and butchered. That's in good condition, that is.
What can be saved will be. Parts like the calipers will be sent away to be reconditioned.
They're done on an exchange basis, so you buy new, you return your old. Bigger brakes on the C, the piston size is bigger, a lot heavier engine in there.
Manager Ian is sent out on his daily shop.
Yeah, he likes being a trolley dolly.
But he's not off to Tesco's. When it comes to a garage parts store, this place would take some beating.
How many parts do they carry here?
I have no idea. Thousands. Brake those MGC. Brake shoes. Brake discs.
In a couple of days, this lot will all be on the car. In Cambridge, another important stage of the MGC restoration is about to begin. Getting it running. Today, technician Alex Kersley will hopefully be sorting the fuel system.
Is there any evidence that somebody has tried to start this car, or has it just been languishing for 30 odd years?
Yeah, so there is evidence. There's a new set of points and there's a new set of plugs. Having the tops off the carburetors, they were all gummed up and stuck, so it hasn't been run.
First things first, drain the tank.
See, this smells quite stale, horrible. It's almost got an oily smell to it.
Manager Ian has his shopping trolley at the ready.
Yeah, it's just a case of whether it's corroded inside.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to keep the original one, but if it's going to keep bringing bits of dirt and rust through the system, then we'll have to change it.
A later inspection confirmed the worst, and it's not going to be the only replacement.
The fuel pump It looks old. It can be unreliable, so we're going to change that anyway. If you're changing one major component, you can end up disturbing a lot of other bits that go along with it.
And is this why you can never give an accurate figure of how much a car is going to take to get back on the road?
No, but it's good fun, mate.
Yeah, but it's not your money, is it?
No.
That said, we are quite enjoying only having to wait a few minutes for parts. The new tank is going in already. The fuel pump is also extracted, and a nice, shiny, reliable one gets bolted into place. Time for a test, to check we don't need to lose any more original parts.
You can put some fresh fuel in it, powered the car up, and run the pump to clear it out and see it's working. Pump's running. It's just trying to pull the fuel up now. It's not flowing as nice as I would hope.
There's no obvious fuel leak, so the other explanation is that air is getting into the system, and Alex thinks he knows the culprit.
I suspect the original metal pipe in between the fuel tank and the fuel pump is tucked right up out the way here. So that's the first thing I'm checking.
After extraction, a demonstration of just how small a big problem can be.
We can see there's a tiny little pinhole there. It's rubbed through, possibly on the shock absorber, and that's where it'll be drawing the air from. And that's possibly why they've took it off the road. It only takes a pinhole.
There's another new part, but it's now looking like the MGC will soon be up and running.
Yeah, perfect. That's the sort of flow we're looking for.
In East Anglia, it's also a big day for our 1969 Classic. All being well, the rare 3-litre MGC might actually start for the first time in decades.
I hope so, because we know we've already got the new ignition bits. We've replaced all the fuel lines and got fresh fuel in there.
Since we last visited, more new parts have been fitted, like these brake and clutch cylinders. But some components have dodged the dustbin.
So the radiator's out at the moment. It's full of sludge. We've had it reconditioned. Just wanted recoring and flushing out. It's as good as new. We've cleaned the carburetors out. We've had the dash tops off and the float chambers apart. Well, and there's nothing drastically wrong with them. They should be good to go as well. The radiator's in. The cowling's all on. So we've just got to put the top and bottom hose on, put some antifreeze and water in it, and should be about time to give it a go. Yeah, it's going to burst into life.
It's alive, but not in perfect health.
We've got oil pressure. I mean, it's smooth, but not so smooth when you take the choke off.
To help diagnose the problem, our MG Medic uses a high-tech thermometer. 159 degrees for the front exhaust manifold, just 56 for the rear.
So we're literally checking, see if it's firing on all the cylinders.
All 6 of them.
Yeah, which it isn't. It's cold on the back three, so that suggests that that back carb isn't quite working as it should be.
Then, another high-tech solution. And instantly, the power of the engine doubles. Sometimes, you just got to know what to hit.
Went round there, give it a little tap with the hammer, freed off the needle valve for the float chamber, and away she is.
A Apart from a full polish of the paintwork and some carpet scrubbing, we're almost there with the MGC. But there's one last visit to the parts store before we leave.
Wheels and tyres.
You got those in stock then, haven't you?
Yeah, got it all in stock. So being an MGC, they're 15-inch.
MGBs have 14s, but to improve gearing, the C sits on a bigger wheel. Our MGC is now all cleaned up and ready for the auction. Safe, drivable, and as original as we could manage. But how much did this relatively restrained restoration cost? Including tax and commission, it was $23,390 to buy. Labour was $4,428. And parts came in at $3,371, bringing the total to £31,189. A big number, but given its very low mileage and increasing rarity, we might still be in good shape.
Let's have a look what we've got. Like Christmas. What have we got in the parcel? Well, thank God you haven't had the plastic taken off the seats. It drives absolutely lovely. Really nice. Well, they are a sweet old bus. These old 3 litres are a lovely engine. Drive just so much nicer than a B. Just far more relaxing, torquey. Really, really torquey. You don't have to work at it at all. Just put my foot down, steady away, I won't go mad. Here we are, 30, 40, 50. You could tell, I'm sure, how effortlessly it done that. So now whoever has recommissioned it mechanically to be sure that it's safe when it drives down the road, can't knock that. Lovely to drive.
There won't be many like this. We just hope the right buyer is out there.
MGC, 5,000 miles the car?
Absolutely.
Gotcha. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mechanically, it's been through. Cosmetically, it's just exactly as God intended. So there you go. £20,000 we've got. 20,000 at 20,500. 21, 21,500 at 21,500. 22 at 22,500. At £22,500 then, at 22,500. £22,500, and I'm going to bring the hammer down. It's down. Lot number 180, the gold flake enamel sign.
Don't really need to say anything, do I?
It's a lot of money, but we can't help thinking the true value of this car has been missed.
I will never, ever fully understand people. If that was a nice, bright Primrose car that had been fully restored, done 125,000 miles and had 6 owners, and then you compare that to a 1 owner, 5,000 mile original, other than what you've done to it, they look at something and think, yeah, I'll give 30 grand for that one that's been all done up and glimmed up, rather than 22.5 for that one there that is stunning and doesn't want all glimming up because it's done no work. It's like virtually new. So that annoys me, but all credit to you, you've done a fabulous job, and I'm so pleased that you reined yourself in and haven't gone overboard.
Curiously, new owner Paul Tordoff also avoided the chance of going overboard, but in a very different way.
It's actually a 60th birthday present to me from my wife in lieu of a cruise that she didn't want to go on next year. So from her point of view, she's also quite pleased.
Paul's no stranger to MGs.
I've had a Metro, an MG Midget, and more recently an MGB.
This is his favourite so far.
It's different to the MGB in as much as you can see that there's a big bulge on the bonnet to accommodate the 3-litre engine. It's been recommissioned really well, so you've done a really, really good job. It's a special car, nearly 60 years old, and much as it pains me to put more mileage on it, I think it needs to be driven. I enjoy driving classic cars, and I'll always have the MG, whereas the Cruise will be for 65 days and not for life.